Hey y'all, so we've got another week's worth of palettes to talk about. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Our 5 palettes that we're gonna be going over: BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. I also used Beauty Bay and Nikkie Tutorials. Zulu by Juvia. The Urban Myth palette. This is from Black Moon Cosmetics. And also Baby Yoda, the child palette from Colourpop. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage. All right, first up, the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. I'm starting with this beautiful orange shade and packing it into the inner part of the crease, about halfway over. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the yellow in my inner corner. That, I just kind of wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. And then we're taking the pink and I'm blending that all the way over to the corner, putting the purple in the outer corner, and then I'm just gonna try to blend everything together really nicely. Just to get like this little melt of a color. I don't know, it just looks like a pretty candy sunset. And P. Louise base is on the lid. We're using this like kind of rosy gold shade on the lid, and then the same shades over the bottom. Hank & Henry mascara, Colourpop liner, that's the shade Puppy, popping on some House of Lashes, and that pretty much finishes the look. Alright, our next one is the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. I'm going to take my time getting this P. Louise base blended just the way that I want it. So I sped through that just a little bit because it took me a while. Starting with this army green shade, I'm going to just start packing that into the crease. And that packing motion is just going to apply the color. I'm not going to do much blending. And I want to create like this little kind of like triangle to start with, and then as I blend I'm going to round it out a little bit. I wanted something a little bit smoky and neutral, but as you can see, this like army green looks kind of brown now. It's definitely a really versatile shade, so it doesn't show up so much green. It's just like very neutral. So I'm packing that into the inner corner a little bit more. As you can see, I already have some like gradient. It looks darker and then lighter as it fades out. That's just from blending it out really nicely. But I am adding this black to add depth in the outer corner because I really wanted to give it a little bit of a sultry vibe. And I think putting a little black and blending it into your other shade just does that. And glitter glue for this one on the lid, I'm taking the shade Taurus and just putting some really nice shine onto the lid and blending that in with that army green shade, and then also a little bit of the black just to fix everything up. Black in the outer corner of my lower lash line, and then putting a little shimmer into my inner corner. I am doing some tight lining because I wanted that lash line to look really nice and dark, and then also taking the black eyeshadow on the top. This is the Ciate, I think, Wonderland mascara, and I'm applying some House of Lashes. These are the Pixie mini lashes. They're really pretty. They're like a little bit full but still natural looking, and I think this look turned out really, really pretty. Moving right along to the Colourpop The Child palette. I already had my base laid down, so I started with Baby Face. I love this green color. It's like pastel, but oh, it's just so pretty. And then I'm using Float Your Crib in the outer corner to really build up some drama and give it some depth, so it's not just like a light pastel. And these blended together really, really pretty. So I just took my time kind of like adding it and then building it up and down, just depending on how high I wanted that darker shade to go. And then, as you can see, putting some more base all over the lid. And I'm going to be going in with the shade Right Hand Mando and going that all over the lid, which has this beautiful light to it. It's also this beautiful like icy pale green. And I'm taking both of those other shades that we used to blend this out a little bit more and just add some dimension, blend the edges. I think it's really, really pretty. I love the greens. I used a little Precious Cargo in the inner corner, and then a Baby Face and Float Your Crib again on the lower lash line just to mirror the top, and using that Baby Face to blend that out. Little Colourpop liner in the waterline just to match that light green we began with. And this is again Hank & Henry mascara. I am going to be going in with some more House of Lashes. I've been wearing these non-stop, and there is the finished look. I really like it. Now it's time for the Urban Myth palette, starting once again with P. Louise base as per usual, and taking my time to just blend that in. Starting with the shade Loch Ness. I love this beautiful blue. It's kind of a royal blue, but maybe a little bit brighter. It's just a really nice shade. So I'm going to create that kind of like a little rounded shade in the crease and kind of drag it down towards my lash line. So it's going to be this nice little rounded shape. And then I'm going to take Crop Circles, which is a green, and blend out the edges with that shade to give just a little something different so it's not just blue. And taking a smaller brush and just working that green all through the edges of the entire eye look. More P. Louise base right in the center of the lid, packing that down, and then I'm going to add the shade Boogeyman, which is really pretty green. It doesn't show up quite as bright on the lid, but you can see it still turned out really pretty. And I'm going to take a little bit more of the blue Loch Ness just to clean up those edges and blend it in a bit more. So pretty. I'm taking the shade Chupacabra, this purple, on the lower lash line, green liner, mascara, and then of course I'm going to pop on House of Lashes lashes again. I've been using those nonstop, and here is the finished look. Onto the Beauty Bay Nikkie Tutorials palette, starting with the shade Plot Twist, this light baby blue. Not a shade you see a lot in palettes, and I do like it. And then we're taking the shade Ew, this green. I feel like I just want to do a shade with that green color. The only thing I don't like about this look is maybe I went a little too crazy with all the colors, but this palette is just tough for me. There's so many to choose from. And then we use Slasher, this like plum kind of purple, and I'm putting that in the outer corner and just kind of bringing it up to the green. And then I'm taking Amsterdam, I should say, and I'm putting that right in between the two and just blending across circular motions to get those two to melt together. P. Louise base once again across the lid. I know you're not surprised. And then I honestly, what did I use on my lid? Good question. I used the shade Pride. So this is really pretty. It's like a pink and there's a little shift of blue in there. So I packed that on with my finger and then went to use a brush just to smooth out the edges afterwards with the plum and the blue. I wanted to just pack each of the colors on a little bit so that nothing was lost and you could kind of see the vibrancy of everything. Taking Hank & Henry Slick With It liner, and unfortunately I did do the orange liner on camera, but I completely ducked out of the frame for most of it. So you see like 1 second. That's a Suva Hydra liner, and I think it turned out really pretty. Alright, so you guys saw obviously our week's worth of palettes. I have such a small attention span and memory right now, so I'm trying to remember like what palette was what. So the looks really quick. I really loved my Zulu palette look. I even loved like the way that the BH Cosmetics came out, really like smoky and neutral. I like the way it turned out. I think a lot of people did too. Yeah, every look was good. I mean, I enjoyed every single look that I did. There was not a bad one in the bunch, but there were a couple of these where I'm like, oh, it could be a little bit better as far as the quality of the eyeshadows, but nothing bad this week. We need to rank them, and this one's kind of tough because all of these are really good. I think I'm gonna go for the Zulu as my #1 palette because these colors blended so effortlessly. Yeah, just beautiful, bold, and they play well together. So I'm gonna rank this as #1. The next ones are tough because I like the look that I did with the Urban Myth better than the looks with the other palettes, but I do have to say that like the Nikkie Tutorials palette, I think I just didn't love my look, and I've done 3 looks with this, and this palette has been dropped a couple of times. It has really taken a beating, but I do think that the quality of this is really good, especially considering that it's a pretty affordable palette, but everything in this I do think blends really well. So I'm gonna say this is my #2. Again, all of these are really good. Like, they're very close, and it's not like one was amazing and one was terrible. It's like they're all good, you know? I'm not sure what to say next. I do love my little Colourpop one. It's so affordable, and I love the colors of green, so we'll rank that #3. And then the next one's tough because the Urban Myth and the Zodiac palette both have like a couple of things that irk me about it. First up with the Zodiac palette, I mean, it's a little bit big for everything that it has. I love the highlight in it. Some of the foils look so amazing on the swatch and just don't quite translate on the eye, but it's still really good. I think I'm gonna call this one #4. Now, I do not dislike the Urban Myth palette at all, but I did find that this purple shade at Chupacabra, which you're gonna have to look closely, I've had to like dig in there. It became really packed down, which is strange because the other shades didn't really have that problem. This one's a little bit harder, and I just don't know, it was just a weird color. And a lot of these like foily type of shades here just don't really have like that much impact. So I do like this palette. There's nothing wrong with it, but if I could tweak a couple of things, I would. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not perfect. It's a good palette. So I don't really have any like discerning comments. These are all decent palettes. I'm interested to see if you guys have these and what you think about them, because I know a lot of people have the Child palette. I had a lot of comments about that. So I don't think that any of these are going to get decluttered right now. I think I could have ranked these in like any order for different reasons. Like, some of the palettes that are ranking lower, I actually love the looks more, and it's just, I don't know, these were so close. So I'm sorry I'm not more decisive about this one, but I just feel like that I used good palettes, you know what I mean? So I hope you guys enjoyed the looks. I tried to just focus this video more on putting together the looks. A lot of people ask me for tutorials, and this, at least for now, is probably the only way I'm going to do them, because people actually don't watch it when I do a tutorial. I'm actually interested to like test that out, like if I did like a very thorough eyeshadow look, if anybody would actually watch it, because in my experience, like a tutorial, like, oh, I'm gonna do this particular type of look, people do not watch those videos of mine, and I think it's because there's so many amazing artists out there who are much bigger and more well known and posting gorgeous tutorials. So it's kind of like, okay, bitch, you are, you know, 157th tutorial that's been posted today. Are we really gonna watch it, you know? So I get it, it's just one of those things. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for hanging with me and checking out my week of looks. I may have to take a week off or condense a couple of weeks, because I do believe I have to go out of town, and I'm also not doing a giveaway this week. I'm trying to keep it super simple, but I may have to go out of town for some family stuff, so it may leave me with not a lot of time to like film ahead, because I may need to go in like a week, and if that's the case, I don't really have the time to prepare the way that I would like to, so bear with me. I know it's been several days since I posted a video, just trying to take care of mental health more than my YouTube channel. Hope you guys understand, and I hope you are doing amazing and handling everything well, hopefully better than I am, and I will see you guys in my next one for a different type of video. I think I'm gonna get my what is it called? My snack box. I think I might get that, so we'll probably film that again. And yeah, so make sure to stick around and check out some of my other videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.